Donald Goines, a Kenyatta novel, Crime Partners, Chapter 5. As the evening wore on, Kenyatta made sure none of the people participating in the coming ordeal used too much alcohol. When Billy had a girl fix him another drink, Kenyatta overlooked the fact until Billy tried a few minutes later to get another one. Then, and only then, did Kenyatta speak up. "Hey, baby, what you gonna do?" he asked, jokingly. "I know we're all grown," he said, "but we might need you straight-eyed, if you know what I mean. If something should jump off wrong, man, and you have to foot it, them drinks could cut off your breath. You fuck around and find yourself short-winded when you might just need to be long-winded." Everybody joined in the laughter, including Jackie, who had started to enjoy himself. The young brown-skinned girl sitting on his lap bounced around playfully. The other men and women smoked reefers and joked among themselves until it was time to go. Kenyatta's woman, Betty Jean, got up from the couch where she had been sitting. Every man's eyes followed her as she made her way across the floor. It wasn't because she walked sexy, but she was so attractive that she drew men the way a fire draws moths. She couldn't help herself, just as they couldn't help but look. The tight black pants she wore didn't help matters anyway. When she re-entered the room, she was carrying a small suitcase. She glanced over to Kenyatta, who was sitting on the couch. He got up and took the suitcase from her, then walked back to the couch and dumped the contents of the bag on the marble-topped coffee table. The guns were scattered out on the table, making an assortment of pistols from 38s down to a small .22 automatic. As the 5 men in the room came over to the table, Kenyatta let his eyes run over the front room apartment. Idly, he wondered if he would make it back to his room that he liked so much. The thick carpet on the floor was the same deep brown as that which had been used downstairs. It came with the deal that furnished the office. One large roll of expensive carpet had been stolen from a warehouse across town and found its way to Kenyatta's place. He had his office downstairs carpeted, as well as the whole upstairs, for less than $100. The rest of the furniture in the apartment matched the carpet and was expensive also. The couch had matched the chairs in light tan, while the end tables were all marble top. The front room led into the living room, which was large and roomy, yet not so large as to appear spacious. The dining room set was dark brown, with a matching china cabinet. The chairs around the table were all deep cushioned, again looking expensive. The cost at a store would have been over $1,000, but again, it came from across town from a warehouse, costing Kenyatta less than $200. "Take it easy," Kenyatta said as the men shoved each other in their haste to get the gun of their choice. "It's enough pieces there for everybody. If you don't find what you like, just holler. We'll see to it that you get what you're looking for." "How many can a man take?" a thin boy in his early 20s asked, picking up a small pistol and examining it closely. "I like to have this little piece in case I get uptight with the law." "Shit, big time," a short, light-complexioned man said. "That thing ain't got enough power to knock down a fly." "Hey, Red, I ain't looking for power with this," Big Time answered, grinning at the man. Red grinned back, revealing a mouthful of rotten teeth. There was a gap in the front of his mouth showing where a tooth had been knocked out sometime in the man's past. Red fumbled with the lock on the German Luger, undecided on whether or not to use it or a 38 that he liked. As he handled each weapon, Jackie reached over and picked up the 38. "Hey man, don't you see me checking out that piece?" Red stated sharply, trying to snatch the gun back out of Jackie's hand. "Be cool, boy. You don't snatch something from a man. If you want it, ask, but don't snatch, you dig?" Jackie checked the man loudly. As the men glared at each other, Kenyatta waited to see if they would handle it without getting into an argument. The last thing he wanted to see his men start arguing among themselves. Red glanced up at the large man. "God damn, brother. I ain't got no misunderstanding with you. Hell no. You're too fucking big for me to even dream of fighting with, let alone really falling out with." Kenyatta grinned. He knew that Red had as much nerve as any man in the room if push came to shove. He knew that Red could more than handle himself. Every man in his organization had been trained to use judo, the deadly art of death. How to kill with the bare hands was something he taught every man and woman who joined his outfit. Jackie grinned down at the smaller man. "That's all right, brother," he said and held out the gun. "Here, my man. I just wanted to see how the handle was made. If you decide not to use it though, let me know. I'm kind of fond of 38s. "What time are we supposed to leave?" Billy asked from where he was sitting, checking out different guns. "It's just about that time," Kenyatta answered as he took a quick peep at his watch. "I want each and every one of you to check your watches so that we'll all have the same time," he said. "Hey, my man, how about if you ain't got no watch?" Jackie asked as he sat down beside Billy. Without speaking, Kenyatta nodded his head at Betty. She got up from the couch where she had reseated herself. In a second, she was back, carrying a small man's watch. She held it out to Jackie. He took the watch from her and glanced at it. "It's a goddamn Timex," he stated to no one in particular. "Well, I'll be damned," Betty said, speaking up for one of the few times since the men had come upstairs. "Here you give a bastard a watch and he still complains? They say you can't please a nigga. If it had been Long Goines, I bet he'd have found something wrong with that. It wouldn't have been enough diamonds in it to please him or something." She finished lamely as she noticed everyone was listening to her. It was the tension she believed the waiting had got to her. "Well, I'll be damned, she can talk," Jackie stated, not angry at her for what she said. "If you have any long irons back there, I sure as hell appreciate one, but make sure it has at least 20 diamonds in it. I can't stand the cheap ones." "Next time," Kenyatta said, laughing briefly. "Okay, people, everybody fix their watches. The time is," he hesitated while he rechecked his watch, "10:35. Make sure you all have that. We don't want to be off 1 minute." He waited until everybody had fixed their watches, then continued. "Now we get ready to move. At exactly 10:45, we pull up from here. We're taking 2 cars with us. The women along on the job will do the driving. Betty, you know what you're supposed to do. At exactly 11 o'clock, you make your call. We want to catch this bastard right before he goes off duty. You know where he'll be at just about that time. Every night he takes a coffee break at about 10:45, so we'll have his ass getting in his car with his partner at just the right time." "How about if his partner is black?" Billy asked suddenly. "I mean, I don't like cops period, but black ones I can stand a little more than I can white ones." "He's not. It's been checked out already. I don't want to hit no black ones if I can help it, because there's not enough black ones on the force now for us to go along killing the few that they do have," Kenyatta replied, glancing around at the group of people. Kenyatta wondered idly about Jackie. The man must be good or he wouldn't be Billy's partner, but his height was a problem. He would be easy to identify it if it ever came down to that. A man with his height should be playing basketball or something. Kenyatta reflected as he studied the tall man closely. He was a drug user too. That wasn't saying too much for him. Some damn good hitman used stuff. It was becoming a way of life for black people. After taking one more quick glance at his watch, Kenyatta stood up. "Okay, people, looks like our time has come." He pointed a finger at a slim, tiny girl. "Brenda," he said, "speeding is out tonight, you hear?" Then he added for the rest of the people's benefit, "She has a heavy foot for someone her size." The short black woman stood up and scowled at him. The huge natural she wore was the only thing attractive about her. On the right side of her face was a long scar that had come from a knife wound many years ago. At times when she got angry, the scar seemed to glow as it was doing now. Brenda was a hater. She hated just about everything. But white people she hated even more. She had been raised in the South until she was old enough to leave. She worked in the cotton fields until she was 14, and then jumped off a truck that had brought her north to pick cherries for the cherry season. Landing on the highway with $40 in her purse, she had made it first to Chicago, where she worked as a prostitute until she was 18. Then she had come to Detroit with another girl, a dyke, but that affair had ended the night the dyke got mad and took a straight razor to her, putting the scar on her face for life. Brenda had continued to work as a prostitute until the day Kenyatta had walked up to her and informed her that hustling in that neighborhood would have to end unless she wanted another scar. When she had inquired as to how she was supposed to live, he had offered her a job. He was really one of the few men who had looked at her as a person instead of a thing. He hadn't ever tried to take advantage of her. The only thing he'd ever shown her was kindness and friendship, something that had been rare indeed in her life. She had almost purred like a cat under his treatment until she, and she alone, knew that she loved him, and she would never reveal it to anyone. Okay, honey, Kenyatta said, holding up his hand to cut off the angry retort she was about to give. Billy, you and Jackie ride with her. I guess I'll go in the same car as you two. He motioned to Red. You and Big Time will ride with Carol. Jackie scowled at this statement. Carol was the brown-skinned girl who had been sitting on his lap. Hey man, why can't I ride in the car with Carol? We've been getting along just fine tonight, so why break it up now? That's the reason right there, Kenyatta answered shortly, his patience running out. The tension was getting to him too. This is a hard job we're going on tonight, dangerous as hell too, so we can't take any chances. Jackie, none at all. You and Carol have been becoming wonderful friends tonight, so let's wait until we get back and you two can continue your new love affair. But while we're on this job, I don't want no thoughts about love interfering with what has to be done. If she goes with you, you might just get to worrying about her. You know what I mean? You might want her out of the way so that she might not get hurt. Anything that will take your mind off your job is what I don't want. So let's do it like I say, okay? Everybody remained silent, waiting to see what Jackie would say. He had proven to them that he was a man quick to anger, yet he could be reasoned with. The man has got a point there, Billy said quickly, not waiting for his partner to answer. With our driver, we ain't got nothing to worry about, nobody falling in love, Billy added. I'm concerned about how his words would affect the woman he spoke of. Brenda was easily hurt by people referring to her looks, and Billy's words hurt her to the core. At that instant, he gained her undying hatred. Jackie took a quick glance at Brenda and said, yeah, man, you got a point there. I don't have to worry about no thoughts of love in my mind with our driver. He laughed loudly, not caring about the feelings of a woman they spoke so casually about. But Kenyatta quickly felt her hurt. He tried to come to her rescue. You guys act like you ain't got no fucking mirrors at home. Ain't neither one of you nothing to write home about, so we don't have to worry about our driver falling in love with either one of you ugly bastards either. The look in Brenda's eyes as she glanced at Kenyatta was one of thanks and of love, something she didn't realize that anyone would be able to see. Betty saw it and looked away. She felt sorry for her and had known ever since the day Brenda came that the small dark woman loved her man. It was a love that brought pity and not jealousy to the tall, attractive woman who saw it. Well, we better be getting on our way if we wanted to go like we've planned. Don't forget, Betty, right on the nose. That way, it shouldn't take the first police car but a minute to get there. After 5 minutes, make your call. Maybe it will pull the backup car away, giving us the time it will take to finish the job right. Don't worry, Daddy, she said as she came up and kissed her man on the cheek. Oh, wait a minute, honey. I got something I want you to take along. She broke away from his embrace and ran into the bedroom, reappearing with a hand grenade. Here's something that just might come in handy if you should get uptight. It's guaranteed to get you a few seconds time anyway. He took the grenade from her. Oh yeah, I'm always forgetting these little bastards. Thanks, baby. He bent over and kissed her roughly on the lips. Hey, my man, you got another one of those little mother hubbas? I sure like to have one too, Billy said. Nah, man. I didn't have but 2 of them, and I sure ain't cutting the other one loose for nobody, Kenyatta answered. Now let's get on with it. We got business to take care of. Red gave Carol a hug as they started down the steps. I might give Slim a run for his money tonight, honey, after we get back. The woman laughed loudly, releasing some of the tension inside of her. I'll be so glad to get back, Red, that I might just take on both of you, as she prayed as she went down the stairs that she would be able to walk up them sometime that night. Please, Lord, make me lucky enough to be one of those that come back tonight, cause it sure ain't promised to none of us. Hey, honey, don't look so serious, Red said, patting her on the ass, as if it makes you look that serious, worrying about me wanting some. Don't worry about it. I'll get in touch with my own lady tonight. Red's attempt at humor went unheeded as they went down the stairway. Everybody was caught up in their own thoughts. There was no backing out now. Either some cops ending up dead or a bunch of young niggas would end up on the slab at the city morgue.